So my name is Grace Fuller. I use she, her pronouns. I serve as the Interim Assistant Director of International Experience and Engagement over at the International Services and Engagement Office, and I am joined by some wonderful colleagues who all invite to introduce themselves. So over to you, Adam.
Hello, everyone. My name is Adam McKinney. I use he, him pronouns. I manage the International House over on the Eleanor Roosevelt College campus. We'll get into exactly what the International House is in a bit, but I'm delighted to introduce Julian, my colleague.
Hello, everyone. My name is Julian Zepeda. I use he, him pronouns, and I am the program coordinator at International House. And my job is to oversee the various programs that we have to offer, which we will get into soon.
And then we do have some wonderful students joining us for a student panel so that you actually get to hear from students what undergraduate student life is like. And so at the panel, we'll invite those folks to introduce themselves. Okay, so a little snapshot of how we'll spend our time together today. We'll do an overview of the International Services and Engagement Office, otherwise referred to as ISEO. Then we'll spend some time talking about International House, or iHouse. We'll discuss what is globally engaged Tritons and how you can be a part of it, including other ways to get involved. Then we want to feature our students for that student panel and close with additional resources. A little bit of housekeeping before we begin. You are in listen-only mode, which means you can hear us, but unfortunately, we can't hear you. So the main way that we'll interact together today is through that Q&A feature on your Zoom menu bar. If for some reason we don't get to your question today, please know that you can always contact us via icontact.ucsd.edu. And finally, we are recording. So you'll be able to view this webinar recording as well as all other pre-arrival webinars at inewstudentwebinars.ucsd.edu. Usually we have that webinar recording up on our website in about a week's time from the webinar date. This is a quick snapshot. If you haven't necessarily utilized the Q&A feature before, you are welcome to submit your questions at any time throughout today's webinar, knowing that we do have a dedicated time for open question and answer at the end. So we may wait to answer your question until then, but if you're anything like me, sometimes you have a burning question and you don't want to forget it, so you can go ahead and submit it throughout the session. And first, we just want to extend such a warm welcome to our new and incoming students. We are so excited to already begin interacting with you and supporting you. I know our office has been issuing those For My 20s and DS 2019s. And here we're joined by campus partners who really create that warm welcome when you physically arrive this summer or this fall. So we are excited that you're here. You make our community better. And thanks for joining our UC San Diego community. Okay, so a little bit about first steps. So the very first steps you should do, as a reminder, accept your offer of admission. So this is really critical. You'll log into your applicant portal and you're going to complete your enrollment checklist, including accepting your offer of admission, as well as completing the California residency tuition for tuition purposes if it's there. And if it is there, that means it's required. These are critical steps because it kind of unlocks the rest of the process. So you'll have to do these steps before you're able to do things like create your Active Directory and Duo accounts. So after you accept your offer of admissions, about 2 to 3 days later, you'll receive an email, and this email will prompt you to create your Triton Link Active Directory and Duo. Through this, that's how you'll get your UC San Diego PID, or personal identification number, as well as your UC San Diego email. And so these are really important pieces. Usually you'll use your UC San Diego email, Active Directory, or PID to log into most, if not all, UC San Diego softwares and platforms. So this is a really critical piece. It's kind of the first step that unlocks everything else. And then as a friendly reminder from us, if you're curious about beginning that process to get your student visa, such as your F1 or your J1 visa, remember that inewdegreestudent.ucsd.edu is a website built out specifically for you. So it really breaks it down into a step-by-step process, how to apply for your Form I-20 or DS 2019, how to use that form to schedule your visa interview, so on and so forth. We did have a pre-arrival webinar earlier. So our first steps webinar really talked about applying for your Form I-20 or DS 2019. Our next webinar, applying for your student visa, covered the next steps in that process. So those are up on our website. Again, inewstudentwebinars.ucsd.edu. You can review those. But again, this is kind of like the website is almost built out like a checklist, so you can just follow it step by step. Okay. So with that, we're going to talk a little bit about who is ISEO? What is ISEO? All right, so ISEO, we are the international office here on campus. So many of us first come to know us through issuing those visa documents, right? So your Form I-20, your DS 2019. When you're a student, maybe your work authorization, things like that. But there's a lot of different parts of our office. So for example, we handle pre-arrival and orientation. So hosting these pre-arrival webinars, we'll host orientation when you join us likely in the fall and September. We also have advising services, right? So we have walk-up advising, we have virtual advising, lots of different ways that we can support you and advise you on your immigration status here. We also have visa and status support services, so we process different requests. So if you do need a reduced course load or you need work authorization, things like that, we will process those requests for you. And then we also host a series of programming and events to support our global community here at UC San Diego. Now, this is my favorite part. Who are our students? So we are so lucky to have such a diverse and multifaceted campus. As you can see, we have just over 8,000 currently enrolled students with a breakdown of about 4,000 undergrad and 4,000 graduate international students. And then we also support over 2,000 students who have since graduated and are working after graduation on either OPT, STEM OPT, or academic training. So our service population is over 10,000. You can see our top 10 places of origin or where students are joining us from, as well as popular majors, focuses of study, and colleges. Okay, so what does pre-arrival and onboarding look like? So we kind of chunk it in these different times of the year. So March, April, May is when we host our pre-arrival webinars. So this is when students are first accepting their offer of admission, they're just getting started, and they want to know, what do I need to do first? So we host these webinars to really do just that, answer your questions of what's the most important thing for you to do early on. So that's things like maybe applying for your visa, that's things like maybe securing housing. We also talk about student health, immunization and insurance requirements, things like that. But we also talk about a lot of different topics. Then June, July, and August, you will complete the iTriton online orientation course. So this is a required course, and it's required for maintaining your visa status. And it covers all the ways that you will maintain your visa status during your time as a UC San Diego international student. And then in September, we hope that you'll join us for new international student orientation. If you'd like a sneak peek of that, you can check out iorientation.ucsd.edu. Now, I know some of you might join us in the summer as a summer start student. And of course, we're excited to greet you then, but we know that most students will join us in September, and that's where we typically have lots of our events. Okay, so just a snapshot of what you can expect. So in case you missed it, that's totally fine. You can always go back and watch these recordings. But as a reminder, here are the different topics we've covered as a part of our pre-arrival webinars. So I mentioned some of these before. I'll also highlight finances and student accounts. So this really covers, let's say, how to pay your tuition and fees, including international payment plans such as Flywire or adding your parent as an authorized payer, things like that. Later this week, we'll have a webinar on campus safety where we'll have lots of campus partners join us of how you stay safe and we protect yourself while you're here at UC San Diego. Then in May, we have a Getting Set Up in the US. So that talks about how to arrange transportation from the airport to campus or set up a bank account, set up a phone account, all of those pieces. We also have a SEVIS transfer process. So if you are a currently enrolled student in the US, and let's say you want to transfer your SEVIS record from another institution to UC San Diego, join us for this webinar. We'll cover that in great detail, the process to do so, and other things to keep in mind. So as a friendly reminder, these are all iNew Student webinars at ucsd.edu is both where you can register for upcoming webinars as well as view previous webinar recordings. Okay, so like I said, starting in June, you will get added to iTriton. You don't need to memorize too much of this now. We will send you a newsletter about it, so there's a lot of text on the screen. It can be a little overwhelming. Just know that over the summer, you'll have the chance to complete this course where we'll talk about meeting our office, logistics about succeeding at UC San Diego, working in the US, caution, and how to check in and activate your CVIS record. But again, you'll get this information as we near closer to the June date. And then, like I said, international orientation, this is an exciting time. So we have lots of different events and opportunities to connect, and we often host this in partnership with iHouse. And so we're grateful to have our colleagues here. A few guides that I want to highlight. So one is our welcome guide. We know that this pre-arrival process contains a lot of information and a lot of logistics. And so with that, we have created this guide to kind of break it down in a little bit more of like information that's easier to read, it's easier to metabolize, and it's a little bit less overwhelming. So we've taken it and broken it up to helpful logistics and checklists for before you start classes, as you prepare for arrival and upon arrival. So if you're curious about that guide and just making sure you have all of those things accounted for, you can check out that link on the screen. And let me go ahead and I can put it into the chat as well. Okay. The other guide that I want to highlight is our Surf Check guide. Now, our Surf Check guide is fun because this guide was created for students by students. So this guide is really created based on what were the most common questions students had as they were preparing for their life in the US and their life at UC San Diego. So it covers a lot of different topics. There's a lot, it's a pretty thorough guide. It's a pretty long guide, but with that, we've added different sections as we've received common questions. So it's hyperlinked. You can kind of click through to see what might be of interest to you, knowing that different sections might be relevant at different stages in your journey. But this is a great resource that many students have found helpful, and you can contribute to as well in the future if you feel like maybe something was missing. Okay, a sneak peek into our signature programs. So these are reoccurring events that we have throughout the academic year. iPrograms, so is where you can kind of get an overview of all of these, but a few that we have monthly. So our global coffee hour, our game night, and our crafting event. These all take place on a monthly reoccurring schedule. And they're just different opportunities for you to connect and become a part of our global community here. English in Action is our English conversation program. So if you would like to practice your English conversational skills, you can meet with a native English speaker once a week throughout the year. Triton Trekkers is our collaboration with Outback Adventures. So this is our opportunity to explore the beautiful backyard of San Diego, whether it be by kayaking the Cove or maybe hiking Potato Chip Rock or learning how to snorkel, all of those good things. And then finally, ISAC is our International Student Advisory Council. So this is a leadership opportunity for those interested in improving the international student experience at UC San Diego. And with that, I'll hand it over to our colleagues in iHouse.
All right, thanks so much, Grace. And as a card-carrying member of the English in Action program, I do recommend that one in particular. It's really nice to have a weekly conversation partner. Okay, well, again, I'm Adam McKinney. I manage the International House. iHouse is a couple of things, and we're going to cover both sides of it over the next few minutes here. So first and foremost, we're a living learning community. We are home to upwards of 350 international and domestic students during a given academic quarter. 50% of whom are domestic and roughly 50% of whom are international. We're also home to 11 visiting scholars. And unlike a lot of undergraduate on-campus housing, iHouse is open to undergraduates from all 8 colleges. So even though we are physically located on the Eleanor Roosevelt College campus, regardless of your college affiliation, we would be delighted to welcome you to our community. So you likely have your housing for the fall lined up already, but keep us in mind when you're heading into your second year, especially toward the end of winter quarter of 2026. That feels like it's a long ways off, but I promise it'll be here in no time. We would love to have you join us. So we happen to be the oldest and largest LLC on campus. And really are committed to global citizenship, global living, et cetera. I happen to live in iHouse as an undergrad and have had a hard time leaving, obviously. So for my money, it's the best part of campus, and with the obvious exception of the ISEO office. And it really is a great place to build community. When you're, new to the US, new to San Diego, new to UC San Diego, it can feel daunting, especially in the current climate. Our solution to that is to just aggressively build community. So I'll pass it over to Julian in a minute here, who will talk through the other side of our operation, which is a slate of globally oriented programs that, again, are open to all, not just iHouse residents. If you are not an iHouse resident heading into the fall, we very much welcome you to attend any and all programs that we put on. So, Julian, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Adam. Go ahead and go to the next slide. Groovy. So iHouse is located in Eleanor Roosevelt College, which is just north of Thurgood and Marshall College. And two locations that I want to point out are our office and our event space. So if you walk around ERC and iWalk, you will see a very large building with large glass windows, and that is the Great Hall, which is where most, if not all, of our programs take place. And then right below the Great Hall is where our office is, which you are more than welcome to always pop down and say hello to myself or Adam or our wonderful program interns. So iHouse is a community built around global awareness, cultural understanding, and international friendship. All students from all colleges are invited to participate in our programs. The more the merrier. I think it's always better when you have students from all different walks of life come together to celebrate either a certain culture or, come together for discussion. It really adds a new dimension to our community. And one of the first program that I'm going to highlight is our language conversation tables, which take place Tuesdays, weeks 3 through 9 from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. in the Great Hall. It's an opportunity to build speech fluidity and expand understanding of global cultures in student-led tables. Our student hosts share their knowledge of languages and passion for cultural collaboration and friendship. This is a really great space if you want to just come together and talk to people, whether you're proficient in a language or just interested in having snacks from a certain culture. This is a great opportunity to come together. And some tables, such as our Armenian Student Association table that is pictured here, is supported by a campus partner. And it's really great to see a community come together and just support their cultural background, a home away from home, essentially. And then the global forums take place on select Wednesdays. iHouse collaborates with various campus partners and student leaders to put on a series of lectures on international topics and cultural observances. Some of our previous topics include mental health, a global priority, Black internationalism, and perspectives on international queer identity, expression, and visibility. And global forums can be a lot of fun. I had the opportunity to host one on community and identity in comic books, hosting some UCSD professors, a comic book writer, along with a comic book store owner. And it's great to come together with various interests and make them into a topic that is accessible from a global perspective. And of course, cultural festivals and celebrations, which is adjacent, if not under the same umbrella as the Global Forum. iHouse collaborates with student leaders and organizations to host yearly festivals. Festivals invite students to come together and visibly showcase celebrations around the globe. So here we have our wonderful ISCO and iHouse interns at our Lunar New Year celebration. We've done Diwali in the past, along with Nowruz or Persian New Year. Groovy. And then the big one, the big celebration of community is our quarterly formal titled Sunday Supper. This is a program that actually ties all the iHouses across the globe together. And it's when we collaborate with student leaders and a planning committee to put on a quarterly themed dinner to commemorate the memories made as a community. This is, again, not just for iHouse residents, but friends for iHouse who have come together and joined our community, whether it be in programs or just hanging out and having friends within our residential area. And the highlight of the show is a student showcase of performers from our own community. We've had punk bands, we've had singers and pianists and Chinese lute players, and just a great variety of students who showcase their talents in their limited time here at UCSD. And pictured here is from the fall, which we hosted First Class of the Pass, which was an exclusive airport lounge. And there are many other programs and many ways to stay in touch with iHouse. Here I linked our Instagram, iHouseUCSD, our website, ihouse.ucst.edu, and to find both of the links that I just named, along with other programs that are currently happening that you are more than welcome to either register for or kind of keep in handy when you are on campus and able to register for, feel free to scan the QR code for the listed links. And with that, I think I'm going to continue talking about the Globally Engaged Tridents, which is another opportunity to get involved in a variety of programs. While iHealth and ISCO are separate entities, we do come together to still host programs with global initiatives to really bring global community together in a variety of programs that do offer Get CCR credit, which I'll get into later, but in general, just community. So what is Get CCR? The Globally Engaged Trident CCR program allows UC San Diego students to earn credit for the co-curricular record for being involved in events on campus and promote the global engagement and internationalization of our campus. And you can learn more at getccr.ucsd.edu, but I'll talk a little bit more about this. This is a great opportunity to get some credit and have essentially another transcript that's showing your efforts to be globally engaged with our campus and learn certain learning outcomes. So you can show on your resumes, cover letters, along with any internships or jobs you're applying for. And they're really easy to earn. All the programs I just listed, you being in attendance does offer you this credit. So who doesn't want like free credit for getting coffee in the morning with global coffee hours as well? It's a great opportunity. And there are many ways to get all of our programs together in one place. And that is the iEvents calendar, which is ievents.ucsd.edu. And if you look around at this snapshot, you'll see that some, such as the ISAC in the top right corner, have the Get CCR tag. That's a great way to see if your programs are eligible. And you see that there's Sunday Supper and iWorkshop and Trident Trekkers and all of our other programs that we just listed all in one wonderful website that is continuously being updated for you to register and see what's happening around the community. And of course, GAP. This is my favorite program. The Global Ambassadorship Program is a summer-long peer mentorship program connecting undergraduate international students with student mentors. So if you're an incoming international student and you would like to make a friend over the summer to learn more about the campus life and just have someone as a resource, I highly encourage you scanning this QR code or going to gap.ucsd.edu to register as a mentee. We have student mentors who are ranging from other international students who have lived here on campus, along with students who are from the United States and are just interested in engaging with a incoming international student. This is a wonderful program. It ranges from conversations about like, how do grades work here at UCSD to where are the best places to eat? Because if you're in San Diego, you're going to be eating at a lot of really cool places. So I really encourage you to sign up for this program. It is so much fun. And I am also one of the overseers of it. So you'll be able to connect with me and make your transition into UC San Diego as smooth as possible. Cool. And there are other ways to get involved, even more. So if you're interested, UC San Diego has a variety of student orgs across campus, and there are way too many for me to list, but if you go to studentorg.ucsd.edu, there is a wonderful list of all of the active organizations, where to find them, who to contact, etc. This is a great way to get involved. My advice as a former student is being part of an organization or a program is a great way to make lifelong friends, and that is very true to my experience and the experience of a lot of other people who I've worked with. And of course, there are community centers. There are many affinity spaces on campus that do help if you are looking to find your community away from home. For example, the Black Resource Center, Cross-Cultural Center, Intertribal Resource Center, LGBT Resource Center, Raza Resource Central, Women's Center, and AP Meta. These are great opportunities to go and find spaces that you feel welcomed in, or maybe this is an opportunity for you to explore certain spaces that you have been working to discover as part of your identity. So I really do encourage you to check out these spaces. I was able to see the LGBT Resource Center for the first time, and it was awesome. I highly recommend going and just getting some snacks and hanging out. And with that, we're transitioning to our student panel.
Okay, great. Well, thank you, Julian. Great overview. I believe we're waiting on one of our two student panelists to arrive, but we're going to go ahead and jump in just with you, and then when Jennifer joins, we'll have her introduce herself as well. I see Jennifer now. Okay. Well, Z, I'm going to give you the floor for a moment, and have you introduce yourself, and then we will jump in with our first question.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks, Adam. Thanks, Julian. Hi everyone. My name's Z, and my hometown is Hainan, China. That's where I was born and raised in. Um, I'm an ERC student. I'm currently a third year. I'm majoring in business economics, and I have two minors, finance and theater. And now I also work in ISU as one of the undergrad programs intern.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, why don't we just dive right into our student panel, and then Jennifer will catch us midstream. So, what was the most challenging part in your experience of adapting to UC San Diego?
Um, yeah, I feel like it's hard to like name like the very challenging part, but to me, there's like many aspects of adapting and then like trying to get into a new life. For sure there's definitely doing everything on yourself, like from the first day of moving in. There's definitely a lot of like setting up your own room and getting a lot of like logistics things done, to getting your own key and like knowing how to get around on campus, how to take care of like your like meals, and then to like also like get your ID, everything, stuff like that. And once you move off campus, like what I'm doing like right now, you have to take care of your like furnitures and then like utility billings, and you once you get once you have the eligibility, like filing your tax, stuff like that. Yeah, I think once you're like starting from the first day here, everything just starts like coming in. But I feel like there's a certain pace to it. It's not like you will get overwhelmed on the first day. Um, just like follow like the instructions, and then like taking everything like step by step, you like get through it. So it wouldn't feel like very overwhelming in the very first place.
Great advice. Taking things as they come, step by step.
Mhm.
Great way to avoid feeling completely overwhelmed during your first few weeks on campus. I see that Jennifer has joined us. Jennifer, if you're able to unmute, we would love to introduce you to folks as well. So, Jennifer, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Jennifer, and my hometown is Taiwan. So I'm a fourth year communication student right now at UCSD. And yeah, my experience at UCSD has been a really, really fun journey. So feel free to ask me any questions.
Amazing. Jennifer, do you want to take a pass at that first question? So, what was the most challenging part for you of adapting to life at UC San Diego?
Mm, I think for me, it's just like navigating through this huge campus. So I think for me, I lived in the dorm during my first 2 years, and it was my dorm's location was kind of far away from the center. So like I have to like wake up a little bit early if my classes are like located in like classrooms far away, but it was not that of a big deal. Just yeah, you just have to like kind of know where your classrooms are, and then maybe you could go and look around like the area in advance, maybe a day or a two. So yeah, you just have to get a little bit prepared.
That's really good advice. I think you'll have some time during welcome week to explore the campus before your, official first day of classes in the fall. Really good idea to take a look at your schedule and wander around campus and find the location of your lecture hall so that you're not doing it at 8 in the morning on the first day of classes. Okay, next up, and Z, I'm going to head back to you. What resources provided by the campus eased your adaptation process?
Uh, I think like on the first of all, like all the webinars hosted by ISU, because I'm international myself, attending all those webinars and go through the guidelines definitely helped me, especially for the logistics stuff, like what like documents sort of process that you need to get done before you're even here, or like on the very first week that you're here. Just um according just like based on those guidelines, like get those things as done as quickly as possible, so that you can like get on the shoulder and then can like focus on your life. And I feel like a lot of like the tabling events, as far as I remember, in like the first couple week, where there are like a ton of like student orgs, campus resource centers, like organizations, stuff like that. I feel like tabling is a really good way to get to know like the many potential opportunities that you can participate, you can take on in the next following years, and the best way for you to talk to those student leaders or like campus resource centers like staff. So I really can recommend to like just like go around library walk during those a couple days, couple weeks to get like the very first hand opportunity to get to know those centers and organizations. Um, and to me, what also helped was um, during when I was taking the writing classes of ERC, which is known to be a little bit hard because it's all about like human history and stuff. I really utilized the what's it called? The writing hub over at library, like Geisel Library. I think they're located in like the first floor where they have like writing workshop or like one-on-one appointments towards like you can like schedule appointment with one of the tutors, and then they can go through like the essays that you're currently working on. And I think I have done that a lot with either Writing Hub or Oasis, which I think is located in Center Hall. So like either one really helped me to like get through the like sort of like the intimidating writing classes, and really allowed me to like have fun when I'm writing the essays.
That's great. Two great shout outs, the Writing Hub and Oasis, and then a plug to just get involved, explore everything the campus has to offer. Jennifer, same question to you.
I also agree with Z of what she mentioned about library walk, where it's like all the organizations will be like having their booth there, and then you can just go and ask them questions like if you're interested in their club, or I think a concern for many people is that like meeting new people, meeting new friends, and how to get involved in clubs. So I would suggest that you can just like because I think most of them are really active on their social media. So you could just go ahead and follow their Instagram page and then just look out for their events. And also for, I think all of the colleges in UCSD, they always hold a lot of events like during the weekdays or also the weekends. So you could just join those events. And me personally, I joined since I lived on campus during my first 2 years. I always join those events. It's on campus and really accessible, so you can go meet a lot of new friends there.
That's awesome. And a great segue into our next question, which has to do with your experience as a student at UC San Diego outside of the classroom. Either of you can jump in if you'd like to get started.
I feel like for me, it's definitely if I need to use words to describe it, I feel like I have like so much like freedom to do whatever I want to do, no, like not just like academically, just because first of all, like physically it's such a huge campus and you can always find yourself a little corner like for everything, no matter if it's just like for study or like for just like chilling, hanging out with your friends, and then, or like crying if you're like devastated or anything. um but yeah, that was experience to me. Like you can always find your like own niche in the campus, in the space, and to feel safe. And also just because it's like most of the time it's like beautiful weather. If it's like winter, it wouldn't like be like super cold. So it's a very like hospitable place, I think. And also if be like beyond the classroom, you have, as I said, I feel so free to like choose the stuff that I want to do. Um for example, I'm a econ student, but I also I'm also able to do like theaters, because that's what I'm interested in, and I have the freedom to like, oh, like be part of like a theater community and to like spend like a good amount of time that I want for like on like theatrical productions, and 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 there are also like so many student orgs and like student government that offer you the opportunity to like try out. For example, I joined the student government in the first year, and then I also have the opportunity to like like choose if I want to stay in there or I can just like explore other opportunities. Um, yeah, I mean, my point is just that I feel like I'm given many opportunities to like try things out and then to choose and then to like decide if I'm a fit for them. And then if not, I can just like quit and then choose something else. So you have like so much like time and space here to like really find the path that's like the most like suitable, that's like the right path for you. Yep. That's
That's
what I
a
would say in a broad sense.
great point. We have so many ways to get involved outside of the classroom on campus that it's important to explore several opportunities. If you are trying out a club or an org or, say a team sport and it's not clicking, you can always just drop that and then move on to the next. I would definitely encourage exploring. Jennifer, same question.
Yeah, I agree that in UCSD we have so much space and time to explore things outside of the classroom. Like we also have recreation classes. Like it is one of my favorite things in UC San Diego. So we offer so many like sports like surfing, tennis, badminton, and a lot of them are also free classes. And we also have the art craft center where you can like just go during your free time and just choose whatever you like. Like there's painting classes, drawing classes, and you could also get involved in the organization, like what Lee mentioned. And there's always like organization where you can meet your hometown friends. Like for me, I joined like Taiwanese Student Association or Taiwanese American Student Association, and there's tons of them like just from different countries. And another thing is that since our school is so close to the beach, like I always thought you could just take a walk and then just go to somewhere nearby and then just chill with your friends. So like a little location and the resources we provide here are awesome.
That's great. Very important to mention proximity to the beach. It's easy to forget when you're in the middle of midterms that it's just a quick 10-minute walk. Okay, you both touched on a few specific extracurriculars, but are there any others that you'd like to shout out as influential or opportunities that you're really glad that you took advantage of? And Z, I'll head back to you.
Um, Yeah. First of all, I definitely recommend you guys to like constantly going through our event calendar because I'm personally updating the calendars regarding to like, all the events that we have, no matter just like the things that we host like ourselves, but also the ones that we like partner up with like our campus partner like iHouse or with like college councils and like crafting centers, everything. So definitely keep an eye out on IVET's calendar as like the event will get rolling like very fast. And we have the event all the way through like I think like September or October of the year. So keep an eye out for that. Um and other opportunities, I think um like the ones that I had um it's really hard to like pick one to highlight. Um But I would definitely just like in the broad sense that keep an eye out on like all the newsletters that just like come out of like for lesson book student government or like UCSD centers, everything that you can get. And then especially if also if you're like living on campus, newsletters are going out from like your RAs, residential assistants, that all of them will just like because people will always want to get their events to get the words out like as fast and as much as they can. So if there's any like, exciting event going on, definitely you would not want to miss that. You would definitely like get to know stuff about it. So yeah, keep an eye on every like the marketing materials sent out by people and just like choose the ones that you want to participate in.
Awesome. Thanks, Z. Jennifer, anything else you'd like to highlight as far as extracurricular involvement?
Yeah. Aside from like the sports classes I have attended, I think for from where I'm working at right now, so I have and ISEO, we always hold like a lot of events throughout the quarter. Like we have an event called Sunday Supper, which is a chance for people to just dress up formally and then meet friends. And there's also like, yeah, just campus-wide events. Like there's always so many events during holidays like Halloween, Thanksgiving. You could always just check out this university center's website or their social media and then just go attend those events.
Okay, so the converse of this question is about anything that you regret not getting involved in. So, do you want to go back one slide? Thank you. Anything you regret not having done yet as a student? And I know you still have a little bit of time, so you can make good on this regret. But if either of you have any kind of notable regrets that you would recommend people take advantage of.
I can start first. For me, something that's like not about like classroom or like like finding a job stuff is that I want to like I've always said I wanted to like surf and it's just like learn how to surf or do any like see I guess like beach related sports that I always want to do. But I just like I keep like procrastinating on that and just like probably because I cannot find someone to do it with me because most of my friends they're not like a very sports person. But yeah, I still have 1 year, so I think I will definitely get it done before I graduate. That's like for sure. But in the past 3 years, I've been like thinking to myself that I have to like do surfing, take a surfing class. Yes, we have surfing class here at UCSD. I think it's like a separate sort of system or like it's like an individual one, but also together with UCSD Recreation Center, they have to register separately, and then there will be like I think in spring and fall they have surfing class. Summer, I'm not sure, but yeah, there's a surfing class that I always want to sign up, but never got a chance to like, actually do it just because I always I sign myself with something else, when it comes to that. Um, but yeah, and I think we also have like other surfing clubs or like works like off campus just from like word of mouth. So yeah, I think there's like a bunch of surfing opportunities here and also just like um what's it called? Scuba diving, snorkeling, just like any available sports and like outdoor opportunities that's really take advantage of the beaches. And the only thing I've done is like kayaking, which is very fun. I think Trident Checkers also have kayaking opportunities, and then I personally have done kayaking with Everyday California, which is very exciting. So I do really want to like explore more of that aspects, like just like in the neighborhood.
Yeah, I think probably surfing would be the number one regret
Yeah,
because it's harder than it looks, and so a lot of I think folks wind up graduating without mastering it, but nothing to be ashamed of.
yeah, for sure.
I was in the same boat.
Hmm.
There's also a event during orientation during Welcome Week called Meet the Beach, where Recreation will invite, really all incoming new students down to La Jolla Shores, Scripps Pier, which is kind of the most accessible adjacent beach to campus. And they'll bring out their surf instructors, surfboards. I think they do stand-up paddle boards, kayaks. They do a Zumba class. Really great. So it's something to look forward to during Welcome Week. Jennifer, same question.
First, you should have like conserving with me. I like this is also on my bucket list since I was in freshman year, and like this quarter, I finally like stopped procrastinating and went to sign up for the surfing class. So yeah, during my fourth year, I'm finally gonna learn how to surf. But for me, I'm gonna talk about the more like academic stuff. So for me, I think I have like attended like so many events already. And I think one regret I have is that like I really recommend like if there's a class that you really enjoyed and like you have particular interest in, you could try to like connect with the professor or just connect with the teaching assistants in that class. And I think this will be a really helpful like there'll be helpful resources when it comes to like finding jobs or internship, like which is something like I'm like I'm looking for a job right now, and like I would kind of wish if like I have some like professor who I kind of know, I could like ask them for advice. And, yeah.
That's a great point. And another piece that I'm sure a lot of folks leave UC San Diego regretting not having taken more advantage of. All of your professors will host weekly office hours. And that's an opportunity to connect directly with a professor, even if you're, just one of 300 or 400 students in a large lecture class, you can still visit their office hours and speak with them one-on-one. Very useful, not only to understand the content of the specific course, but also to form a relationship. And to Jennifer's point, you'll be in a position where you'll be asking, potentially professors for letters of recommendation. And having had a couple of in-person face-to-face interactions with a professor will go a long way to help them tailor that letter on your behalf. Okay. Next up, what piece of advice would you give to incoming international students? Z, we'll head back to you.
I think first thing that I definitely would say is that if you're like here like all on yourself, definitely find like try to build like a support system. This is like a pretty like abstract concept, but just like a support system that as in like no matter it's like it could be like a hobby, something that you enjoy doing and you can just like get up like everything on your mind by doing it, can really focus on it. Or it could be like a friend group, or it could be just yourself. Like it could be anything that just that could like support you mentally when you're like your family's like all like on the other continent and stuff that you cannot get their help like immediately. That's like the best way for you to like sort of like a coping mechanism to any like mental obstacles that you face when you're like if you're like oh like you're lonely or you're like getting homesick or you're like having this like all of like the anxiousness and every like the negative feelings about like being here all alone and feeling unsupported. A support system is um what you would need, I think. And I think what works the best for me is to find something that you really enjoy doing, because it's always hard to like I guess rely on people for them to be your support system, because they're human being as well, and it's hard for them because they also have their hard times. So most of the time it would be the best thing to like rely on yourself. So yeah, I guess really find something that you enjoy doing, or just like even find a like like I said, it's a huge campus. Find a spot for you, find a niche for you that where like you feel safe. It could be like a study room, it could be like like a library's corner, it could be like literally anywhere. That find either some place that you enjoy being in, find something that you enjoy doing, so that you at least have your body or your mind occupied when you're like trying to cope with like any like negative feelings and stuff. But yeah, just to keep in mind that we also have like our tabs, which is like our I think like mentor services, and like they have like therapists that are on campus to help you like cope with that, and that resource is very important as well. But yeah, for I guess like for a very broad concept, when because as international students, there's inevitably going to be times when you feel like unsupported, or that's like in a way that nobody can help you. So it's definitely very useful to find that sort of like supporting pillar for yourself.
Such a
That's
good answer.
that's what I say.
Um, yeah, when the quarter system starts to come at you quickly, which it will, the quarter system is unforgiving. Just know that you're not alone, and even if it feels like everyone else is, doing just fine, I'm sure that if you take Z's advice and surround yourself with a peer network, it's going to go a long way. Jennifer, same question.
Yeah, first, I totally agree. So I think knowing the resources on campus is really important. So there's like the consulting center, and also the like medical health center. If you ever like just hurt yourself, you can go there. And then also the ISEO office, if you have like visa related questions, you can just always consult them. And also I think like if you're living on campus in a dorm, I think it's really like just important just to get to know your roommate. For me, they're really like since like I got in and then not knowing anyone, so they're like the first few people I know. So I think it's really nice to just get to know your like suite mates, apartment mates, and you can just hang out with them and then just start exploring UCSD with them. You'll feel like there's someone supporting you. And yeah, I'm sure you'll have a great time with your friends here.
Yeah, great point. Your roommates are also great resources. Okay, in the interest of time, this last question we're going to treat as a lightning round. So we're going to just go with like a one sentence or one word answer. And either of you can jump in if something comes to mind immediately. So what is the activity or place that one should not miss while being in San Diego or on campus at UC San Diego?
The first thing that came to my mind was definitely don't miss a chance to like um it's like off campus. So me and my friend always used to just like take 101 bus to like go to like the north like Carlsbad area and just like walk in that place. So north like Carlsbad they have like the like flower field and I think they have like strawberry farms during spring season. So I think yeah, it's just jump to my mind that like every in the past every spring, including this spring, we just like take the bus to the north and just like walk in that like huge area. They have like very nice sceneries and a good place to hang around with friends. I think because we like being in nature. And also I think in Carlsbad area they have like also have like outlets that you can like do some shopping here. So shopping and then like restaurant like for dining and everything. Just like yeah, I think I don't just like in general, like definitely don't hesitate to like explore like far north and like far south, like going to the south area, like around San Diego, because you will never know like what you will find. And take good advantage of the public transport as well, including like the like I said, 101 bus that goes like north to south, and then like the other trolley systems. Yep.
Great answer. Remember to take advantage of this amazing county. Jennifer, same question.
Um, an event UCSD always hold comes to my mind, which is the Sun God Festival. It's a really big campus-wide music festival that occurs every May, I believe. So it's free for undergrad students, and like we have like great music and just great vibes, and you could always join. And also, I think the University Center, which is also the Price Center, there's like a game room and also a movie theater, and those are also great places for you to hang out. And for San Diego, I like one of the most beautiful places. I think I would say La Jolla Cove. You have to go visit there. There's just so many pretty like palm trees and then like so many shops and so many things to explore and great restaurants. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, Jennifer, Z, thank you so much for your time and your expertise. Everyone attending today's webinar is very lucky to learn from your experience. So thanks again. And I think we have just a couple of minutes to answer any open questions that we have. I think we have one about the GAP program. Grace, I see you unmuted.
I was just going to direct that to Julian. So yes, we have a student interested on learning more about when they can expect to be paired with a mentor for the GAP program.
Great question. So we are looking for about the first week of July, you will receive an email. So I advise using your UCSD email. That's how you will be initially contacted by your mentor. And then from there, you will get weekly messages along with a better overview of like the different itinerary that we'll have planned for you this summer.
And just to build off of what Julian said, friendly reminder that UC San Diego is on the quarter system. And I know that's kind of like can be different than a lot of our semester schools. So we are still in courses and classes all the way up until mid-June, which means we're also recruiting for mentors for the GAP program through June. So that's why at the end of June, we do our pairing process, and then you can expect to start interacting with your mentor in July. So July, August, and then into September is when you'll interact with your mentor via GAP, because right now we're busy recruiting all of those mentors for that program.
And I could also take the second question of where like you would meet your mentor. GAP is a primarily virtual program. So usually conversations or any sort of connection between you and your mentor is through email. That being said, though, depending on if you are in San Diego already and if your mentor is, you can connect on a case-by-case basis to see if there's an opportunity for you to meet for like coffee or something, along with exploring other means of connecting with each other outside of email. But email is the primary means of communication.
Mm-hmm. And this is done just because we know our folks are all around the world. And so we want to make it accessible to everyone and then have you all be able to meet each other in the fall. Okay, so with that, we're just gonna go through some campus resources. So friendly reminder, this Thursday, we'll focus on campus safety. Then next week, getting set up in the US, as well as our CBIS transfer process. So join us for those pre-arrival webinars. There are a few things you can start doing now. So for example, you can begin requesting your visa documents via iservices.ucsd.edu. You can also begin applying for on-campus housing. We did have a housing webinar earlier this spring, so I would strongly recommend to go check out. You can review both the YouTube recording as well as the slides. In July is when a lot of those health immunization requirements are due. So we also had a student health webinar where you can find more information about that. And then in September, there's a lot of exciting things happening. So tuition, move-in, check-in, orientation. As a reminder, as undergraduate students, you will complete your college orientation in addition to your international orientation. So you will have multiple orientations that you get to connect with, and then multiple ways to learn and meet new people. I see one question about where I can find the on-campus housing webinar. So again, that's inewstudentwebinars.ucsd.edu. You'll click on the drawer that's Fall 2025 pre-arrival webinars. The first one is upcoming webinars, and then if you scroll down, you'll see previously recording webinars, and those should be uploaded soon. And when will I receive my fees bill? So that was covered in our student accounts webinar. So if you want more information there, it talks about how to pay your tuition and fees, how to add your parents as authorized payers, international payment options, things like that. That will be found there too. And we should have that updated shortly with that webinar recording. Okay, finally, we just have a quick survey. This is so that we make sure we are answering all these good questions. So we review these surveys specifically to build out our orientation for the fall. So if there's anything that we missed during our pre-arrival webinars that you'd like to learn more about, please go ahead and provide that feedback. Or if there's something that you really enjoyed and really appreciated, feel free to give a shout out maybe to our lovely student panelists who shared their experience. And then we'll go ahead and incorporate the things that you found helpful or would like to learn more about in our orientation come fall. And with that, we want to thank our campus partners as well as our students for lending their time and expertise today. Join us for future pre-arrival webinars. You can always contact us via icontact.ucsd.edu and have a great rest of your day. Thank you.